Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah amma ba'd. A frequently asked questions. I'm just going to keep this brief for the purpose of understanding and accessing, etc. But this question is asked over and over again. I got involved with a riba-based contract. May Allah protect us. This is what the question is saying. I got involved with a riba-based contract, whether it's with a student's loan company or a bank or car financing, etc. And I didn't know it was haram at that time. What do I do now? Now, there are two scenarios in this. This person is saying in this particular question he didn't know. But the scholars have said, look, if the person knew, then they have to make tawbah. Because they knew that it was riba, they knew that it was haram, but they did it anyway. So they need to make tawbah. If the person didn't know, then there is no sin upon that person. Especially if a person has been told by, a religious scholar or a person they asked and they said, yeah, go for it, it's fine, etc. But then it later transpired that, no, actually it's haram. Ignorance is an excuse for that person. So there are two scenarios when it comes to the person, whether he has sinned or not. Okay? But the solution or the reaction is exactly the same from both of them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَكُمْ رُؤُوسَ أَمْوَالِكُمْ لَا تَظْلِمُونَ وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ. You need to pay back the capital that you have borrowed, because borrowing money is not haram. Borrowing money is actually something which is permissible, or even something which is mustahab, or even something which is wajib perhaps. So if I lend somebody 1,000, that could be something which is a great deal of reward possibly for me. Yeah. So borrowing money and lending out money is not an issue. So if you've borrowed 100,000 from the bank to buy a house, for example, or 20, 30,000 to go study, then you pay back exactly what you borrowed. The issue is what they call profit, or they call interest rates, or what they call inflation, etc. That added element is not allowed. Hence Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَكُمْ رُؤُوسَ أَمْوَالِكُمْ لَا تَظْلِمُونَ وَلَا تُظْلَمُونَ. You can get back your capital, right, the amount that you actually lent out, but you will not be wronged and they will not be wronged. Meaning that person will get back his capital, he will not get anything extra, and the person who has borrowed the money will not be wronged either, because he's not paying back extra. So that's what the person should be doing. If he's taken out a loan, he pays back exactly what he has borrowed. Now, obviously, we live in a world where there's lots of contracts and you're tied in, and if you've agreed to riba, then you have to fulfill it. Then, out of necessity, that person then completes the contract as initially agreed, because there's no other way around it. They'll get the bailiffs involved, etc. But then that person must make tawbah. So what we're basically saying here is, if there is a way that you can pay back exactly what you have borrowed and have the extra element waived, or at least even reduced, then the person must and should do so. This is from the Masail when it comes to riba. Like I said, I was trying to keep it short. There are a lot of other things that could be mentioned. There are a lot of evidences that can be discussed, but this is the crux of it. The ulama have basically said either person knew or he didn't know, and the end result is that the person should be given back the capital without the riba, unless if they are forced. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us halal income, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala suffices us and makes us those who are sufficed with the rizq that He has written for us. هذا الله أعلم وصلى الله على